Do you remember when entry-level supercars were like $200,000 to $300,000? Not anymore. Ferrari 296, $400,000 easily. Lamborghini Temerarios, $400,000 to $500,000. Heck, even a Porsche 911 Turbo S is like $300,000. So in today's day and age, the McLaren Artura is actually a pretty good value entry-level supercar. You get the carbon tub, the doors go up, 690 horsepower out of the 3-liter twin-turbo V6 hybrid powertrain, and this one has been optioned to $326,000. There are more powerful options there. There are faster options even within McLaren's lineup with the 750S. But what is the entry-level baby Artura Spider like to live with? We're gonna find out. Hello, McLaren Artura. Going throw my backpack in here. Oh, that's pretty practical. Although we have a charger here that's taking up some space. Backpack fits nicely. You could definitely do like a suitcase, maybe a duffel bag, 2 duffel bags, like a weekend overnight trip. Absolutely usable in terms of the front trunk. And of course, doors that go up are just better. All right, cold start. Although I'm pretty sure this will start in hybrid mode. Yep, that's on. We don't want that. I want the engine on. So we'll toggle this over. Conditioning engine. I have comfort entry set up, so if I pull the left-hand stalk, it's pulling the seat and steering wheel back to my set memory position. It just moves out of the way when you're parked to make it a little easier to get in and out. Somehow, this is my first time ever driving a McLaren Artura. I have spent time in pretty much all of the other models, 12C, 650S, 720S, 765LT, P1, 570S, 600LT. I've driven a lot of different McLarens, but the baby hybrid V6 McLaren. Actually, this is the first time there has ever been a hybrid convertible McLaren, because the P1 was hardtop only, was a coupe, unless you do the aftermarket one, which that's a total different ball game. But this does make the Artura Spider unique. Also a V6 McLaren, very different from all the other V8 ones. Convertible things, we can put down this little back window while still leaving the top up, so you can hear the engine a little bit better. And we're in sport right now. We can toggle up into track for the powertrain. And we're in manual mode too. You can hear the engine a bit better. Also, the fun thing with McLaren paddle shifters is you can use them one-handed, right? Because it's on this rocker system. So I can pull the left paddle for a downshift like normal, or I can push it for an upshift. So that's one-handed paddle shifting. I don't know of any other supercar, or really anything, that has that kind of system. Initial impressions, this thing sounds pretty good. And it also goes pretty good. Whew. Actually, we can go into electric mode. Let's see if it'll turn the engine off. It says engine on. I don't have, probably because I have no range. I need to plug this in and charge. I know there will always be some people who will complain, oh, hybrid supercar, why would you do that? I don't want that. The McLaren P1, the Ferrari LaFerrari, the Porsche 918 Spider, the Bugatti Tourbillon. They're insane. These hybrid supercars are absolutely getting crazy. Now, we also have the Ferrari 296, which is a similar formula, twin-turbo V6 hybrid, but it's in a little bit higher of a tier from a power and price standpoint. It's over 800 horsepower. This one's just under 700. That one's also a lot more expensive. But we also have the Lamborghini Temerario, the Lamborghini Revuelto. These hybrid supercars and hypercars are pretty ridiculous when they hybridize for power and performance. The torque fill, the flexibility, they're a lot of fun. You gotta give them a shot. And speaking of hybrids, the engine has kicked off, and we are in electric golf cart mode. I also tried out the electric mode in the P1, so this is the exact same in certain key ways. The weather may not be ideal, but I have a convertible McLaren, so I'm gonna put the top down. You hold the toggle right up there. Keep the speed down. I'm doing just about 30 miles an hour. Wait, I literally put the top down, now there's drops of rain. The sun was starting to come out. If you drive fast enough, the rain won't come into the cabin. Aerodynamics. That only sort of works. Woo. All you probably hear right now is wind noise because despite the little back window being up, this is still a pretty windy cabin. We just had a Lexus LC 500 convertible, and with the little wind deflector in the back, that was actually much more composed, even at freeway speeds with the top down. So in terms of turbulence, the Artura gives you more of a at one with the wind and nature experience. It's a folding hardtop, and it's a pretty quick operation. Well, just like that, we are latched. That was actually rather fast. A couple weeks ago, I dropped my nice camera, which was not good, right? Obviously not good. So I went to a camera repair shop in downtown Fenton, and it's done. So I am coming to pick it up. Very excited to get my nice camera back. There is no park, right? You don't have a button to select. It's neutral, reverse drive. It just goes into neutral with the parking brake, race car things, and then open the door up. Yes, look at that, the sun is out. Wow, wow, wow. It was all gray, gloomy, and rainy earlier. The Artura got a little bit dirty, but hopefully the sun makes a little bit of an appearance for the rest of tonight. And on cue, it goes behind a cloud. Come on. We do have Apple CarPlay, but it's wired, so you have to plug in. There is a wireless phone charger back there, but you can either wirelessly charge your phone and not have CarPlay and just have Bluetooth, or you gotta plug your phone in for CarPlay, and then obviously it will charge, or then you can have your passenger use that as a wireless phone charger. Backing up in electric mode, so we have a backup camera that takes over the screen. It's a little bit warpy, but pretty nice wide camera. You can see that gigantic pothole in the parking lot. I am going to avoid that. And then you have a 360 overhead view camera too, which is also very, very convenient. Watch this. The floor mat has a G-force acceleration indicator feature. I recently just drove my friend Steven's 570S when I was out in Arizona, and this car is the spiritual successor to the 570. It's the more affordable entry-level baby McLaren supercar. Now, I'm rather spoiled, a little bit jaded when it comes to power and acceleration. I've driven many high horsepower cars. Recently was a Corvette ZR1, which kind of reset what a fast car felt like. But the 570 was quick, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, fast anymore, because we've been ruined by, even in the McLaren lineup, a 720S 765 LT is utterly ballistic. But this one here, it feels more potent. It feels, I think it's the electric motor, the torque fill-in. I mean, on paper, it makes more power. This thing is really, really fast. By my butt dyno, by my feeling, this thing is pretty ballistic. Yeah, and it's a V6 hybrid, right? No more V8. I'd say it's like, from the internal combustion engine standpoint, I'll give it 90% of the feel and excitement. It makes the good noises, punchy, quick shifts. That 570 with the V8 did have an exhaust on it, so noise-wise that was a little bit better, but the torque fill and just the excitement, I think the Artura still absolutely is able to deliver that. Yeah, that's still really, really fast. This feels substantially quicker than the 570, which makes sense. Stopping by my friend Jason's garage. He just finished out this thing. We're getting some furniture delivered today. Also bringing the Artura Spider for him to check out. I brought you a present. Heated seat, blasting the heat. Come on, it was sunny out. I gotta enjoy a little bit of top-down weather.
You haven't been riding it hard at all. It's like a perfect hand warmer.
You roast some marshmallows back here. When I grow up, I want to be like Jason. Miata race car, Boxer Spider, and a lift. Oh man, you got lighting and furniture in? Look at you. We got the Artura a bit dirty today driving around in the rain, and I may have taken a turn onto a dirt road, so the car got a little bit muddy, but it was properly enjoyed. From a styling standpoint, I'm a big fan of the Artura. When it first came out, I was like, ooh, this looks even more aggressive than the 570 generation. The headlights are more reminiscent of the 720S, like set back like an eye socket with this DRL there, and you see a radiator. This one is finished in a dark blue paint, which is pretty cool, with McLaren orange accents like on the brake calipers. You also get these carbon fiber fender vents, which usually were on like the LT model, so that's nice and sporty. Carbon mirrors too. You can see the interior with the orange McLaren orange seat belts, the top down, massive intake on the side. That's reminiscent of all mid-engine cars, right? Because they feed air, so the sculpting is very immediately McLaren family look with the carbon top and the side profile here. There's also lots of crazy vents and openings on the back here. So right there you see that with the hexagonal mesh, more in the middle there. This is where the hardtop would go with the flying buttresses, and these are clear too. That's pretty cool. That's a really, really cool design touch. And then the rears are just this slash of a tail light with the hexagonal mesh. It really reminds me of the Elva styling from the back that kind of introduced that look. And you can see down the diffuser, there's the back into some mechanicals, transmission, and then a dual exhaust in the middle with the McLaren Artura badge. That's all that hexagonal metal mesh. I think it's a really cool, good looking car, a good evolution on the 570S. And then of course, doors that go up. Doors up is always better. This is Jason's 4Runner, but I was just staring at that. Looks like a dent. It's supposed to be like that. Nobody hit your car, right?
No.
No?
It's on this side too.
Doesn't that look like a dent? This would be not a bad two-car solution. Artura Spider and a TRD Pro, conquer everything and deal with potholes. And then this is the fun weekend car. Low light on the cameras isn't bad actually, although it's pretty well illuminated here. Still getting used to driving this thing in electric mode. When you're in a McLaren, you're used to hearing a twin turbo V8, right? But again, this is like friendly neighbor mode. Pretend like you're leaving home in the morning, you don't want a cold start. I'm in a garage hangout spot, so it's less of a problem, but you can sneak away, and then when you want to be loud, there you go. Let's go ahead and plug the car in to charge. Charging doors over here on the driver's side. And the included charger is just plugged into a regular wall outlet, so nothing crazy fast. So we're at 18%, and it says 7 hours to charge to full, which does mean overnight in the garage this would charge to full just on a regular wall outlet. It says 1 mile of range right now, so let's see what a full tank of electrons will get us in terms of range. We're gonna take the McLaren for a late night workout gym session, so go ahead and unplug it for now. So these doors, you might be worried because the way they swing, but actually because they go upward, they don't go as far out. And the thing is with coupes, right? 2 doors, oftentimes the doors are really, really long. So when they open conventionally, kind of be careful. And I've experienced in like my Corvette Z06, for example, or any 2-door, you're like trying to crawl out. But McLaren doors, actually, this swing itself, the butterfly doors, do make it a bit easier. We got some charge. It's showing 6 miles of range. Also, this entire cluster moves when you move the steering wheel, right? So it moves with the steering column. The screen, your little toggles right here for setting your drive mode settings. The active panel is no longer a panel, it's the active toggles. You press that for manual, this is for powertrain. See a little P right there. And this side here is H for handling, and then you have ESC off. So these like toggle back and forth, which is pretty nifty because you can reach it from holding onto the steering wheel instead of being a panel down here below. You see where it says conditioning engine? You do have to be careful with hybrids, right, like this, because if it's not cold starting and you're driving and then the engine kicks on, you can't just start ripping on it. That's not good, right? You want stuff to come to temperature, especially in a performance car. So with hybrids, do kind of want to be aware of that. And we have, ooh, that's a cool little silver, like silhouette-y speed form, very subtle goodbye sequence. A lot of carbon tub cars can sometimes be more difficult to get in and out of because they have a really wide door sill, just the way the tub is, but they try to carve it away here to make it slightly easier to get in and out of, but it's still a relatively wider door sill here. Getting out, I mean, it's kind of like a controlled duck and avoid the door, and you're kind of tripping your way out. Falling in is literally falling in. I am 6'3", so a little bit on the taller side, larger side. If you're shorter, it might be easier to get in and out elegantly. When you're taller, it's just kind of a controlled sequence, or maybe I'm just awkward. This dark blue looks pretty cool under the parking lot lighting. Personally, if I'm getting a McLaren, I'm getting some bright, crazy Skittles color, like McLaren orange, obviously iconic, but papaya spark or Napier green, one of the really, really bright colors. But here with the dark blue and black, a little bit more of a classy spec, and you get little pops of orange with the brake calipers. Oh, this car is really dirty. I'll probably try to get it washed tomorrow, take some photos, you know, do some video stuff. I win the gym parking lot tonight, although there is not much competition. One day we were here, there was a 1600 horsepower twin turbo R8 here, there's a Huracan, a couple Porsches. There's some people who bring cool cars to the gym. But all right, gonna go get a workout in. I'll be back later. This is also the newer McLaren key fob. We have the McLaren logo for unlock. There's a lock button, that's for opening the front trunk. Back into the Artura, we should be fully charged. Let's see how many miles of range we have. So I'm trying to take the Artura out, but it's not unlocking. I've changed the key fob battery twice, tried 2 different batteries. Nothing is happening. The car shouldn't be dead. I mean, it's been plugged in. I drove it yesterday night, but nothing is happening. I've tried 2 different batteries. I know I just bought brand new little key cell batteries. You can't manually insert the key here. It's underneath. You see that right there? So I inserted the little key part underneath the door here. I'm using my phone to kind of guide it. Oh my God, that is a pain. It's easy when it's up here, right? But when it's underneath the door, like, well, on a full charge, it is showing 18 miles of all-electric range. Key not found in cabin. It's right here. Engine system fault? What? Hybrid system? Oh no. Oh no. We're gonna let it key cycle. Lock. Go to sleep, turn off. When in doubt, turn it off and then turn it back on again. I don't know what to do now. Hybrid system test and oh, nope, fault. Never mind. All right. Let's try this one more time. Fingers crossed. Pretty please. No scary warning sounds yet. Parking brake fault? ESC fault, vehicle limp home mode. The McLaren is back! So the issue was there's apparently a resistor behind the charger that came loose, which is what caused the hybrid system fault. So the local McLaren dealership, McLaren of Troy, ended up coming to pick up the car, but it wouldn't release the parking brake, it wouldn't go to neutral, so they had to essentially drag it out, but they had the system with these like sliders for the wheels, and they got it out safely. It was an easy fix, and now the car is back. But now the problem is it is properly winter, and it's rather cold outside. But I'm excited that it's back, although it's still on P0s, which means we will be driving it very gently. But the McLaren has returned to the garage, and everything should work. All right, let's get a cold start, and then we will toggle up. There we go. That needs an exhaust to wake it up. But I do like the dual center exit exhaust with the whole mesh back here. It looks really cool. Any sensible person would probably drive the Nismo Armada, but where's the fun in that? I have an Artura Spider in the winter. Not many people will be driving these things in the Michigan winter. At least it's sunny out today, but it's like 15 degrees Fahrenheit, so I am not that dedicated. The top is not coming down. There is no amount of heated seats and heated everything that would make me put the... Actually, no, I'm not doing it. No. Let's raise the temperature a bit, and then if we swipe up, you can turn on the heated seat. You get this little control panel here for your climate. I like how the drivers have a little race helmet on. Well, there's a fun little detail here. Actually, can I sync? Here we go. Nope, that was the wrong one. Sync. So everything is through the touchscreen here. I don't think it's called Iris anymore. That was the older McLaren infotainment. I'm not sure what the acronym anymore, but it's all screen. There's no physical controls. You have a little knob here on the side for kind of navigating and go back home. This is volume up and down, but it's all through this little touchscreen that is angled slightly towards the driver. McLaren's have very minimalistic cabins. There's no passenger display screen. There's no a bajillion toggles and touch buttons and swiping controls all over the steering wheel. The steering wheel is just a steering wheel, right? Ferrari is very, very different. Lamborghini, same thing. They've got little toggles and switches and rotating dials. They now have these controls instead of the active panel, so that's a slight change, but it's a very much more Spartan and simple interior, which I actually think I still prefer. Some of the really high-end OEMs are starting to realize their customers don't want touchscreens everywhere. They want mechanical and like buttons and engagement. Ferrari is realizing that pressing on a screen to turn on your supercar is not a fun experience, and they've brought back the big red start-stop button. So I'm hoping that they realize we just don't want touchscreens everywhere. Touch controls on a steering wheel, it's not easy to use. And I still just love the McLaren interior. The steering wheel feels so similar and familiar. You don't need to spend 3 hours reading the owner's guide on how to operate the steering wheel. You still probably want to spend some time reading an owner's guide to figure out all the other controls, because there's still a lot going on, the different drive modes and understanding how to toggle different things and control different things, but they have made it more intuitive. Another example, we have a bank of buttons here. Front lift is on the left right there. It used to be like a pull down of the stalk, hold it. If you didn't pull the stalk long enough, it wouldn't operate, so that has become much, much easier to use. So gradual improvements from previous generations of McLaren vehicles. That was just me flooring it in sport mode, and traction control was just managing the power. It might as well have been 300 horsepower because it wasn't putting any of it down, but that was fine. Woo! This thing revs pretty high. That's like 80, just over 8,000-ish RPM, not quite 8,500. I dare go into track. I dare. Hello, Rolls-Royce. We are entering Birmingham, the land of the very, very wealthy in Michigan. This is, I think, the wealthiest suburb. There's probably maybe a smaller little pocket that might be even more rich, but you come here to get humbled real quick. Although I'm willing to bet some money. I might be the only person out with a McLaren right now. How could I have forgotten? Another person that drives a supercar in the winter? Syed. SF90. Everybody else has their actual winter cars out. Caution, frost. Yes, indeed. That is a potential risk. There is frost. Look who we found. Hey. The world's favorite dentist.
That's right. What's
Zafo.
up, guy?
I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know, it's been a while.
Welcome to, and the only time he's willing to hang out with me
privileged.
Is when I have a McLaren.
I feel privileged that this guy slides in here. He's bored. That's why he called me today. He has nothing to do.
Actually, genuinely true. I was out with the McLaren. I'm like, what can I do? I'm going to go bother Zafo.
Yes.
You just bought a car too. You bought an F8, right?
I did. F8's, but you didn't even look at it yet.
No, we'll check it out once we're back. This is your... You've done this like half a dozen times. Summer, nothing, you're driving your truck. And then winter hits in Michigan and you buy a supercar. The Aventador, the Huracan Performante Spider, this.
I didn't know I did that with the Huracan too. I did that with the Huracan?
It showed up in the winter, I think.
Yeah.
And then spring comes around, everybody's like, oh, let's pull the supercars out, and then you sell them.
I know. I gotta hopefully keep this a little bit longer.
You should.
This was a unique deal. This was a guy, an entrepreneur in I didn't even tell you the whole story. Miami.
Okay.
And he had a very large criminal defense attorney bill that he has to pay for. So he...
Wait, like he was a criminal?
I mean, allegedly. He's
allegedly,
he's
yeah.
not convicted yet. And so if he stays out of jail, he'll buy it back at a profit, okay? But he needed some funds, and it's just like through a broker of a friend, and the deal went through. It's a weird deal. It's a really weird deal.
Of course, you found the sketchiest Ferrari.
I know. So it is a sketchy deal. Kind of. I mean, not really. I know a lot of people get into trouble. What's wrong with that? So,
If
he has
John,
a criminal defense.
If
Criminal
John
defense
was here,
attorney.
he'd be like, you were the criminal. All right, because Josefa's here, we're going to put the top down, even though
Yeah, baby.
It's warming up. It's 39 degrees out. That's practically tropical.
That's amazing for Michigan.
Wait, confirmed tonneau empty. I haven't seen that warning before.
Ooh, fancy.
Roof operation in progress.
Fancy, guys.
Oh, he's got to do his social media
Eddie.
too.
That's
Heated seat on. No traction.
How does it go in, like, how long do you have in electric mode?
Not super long. It's a plug-in hybrid, so
okay.
it'll do a decent range. Right now it's showing 6 miles,
Okay, not bad.
but it can recharge on the go, and then I can also plug it in. Ooh, an electric motor struggling for traction. Oh yeah, in the neighborhoods, this is where it gets a little bit sketchy. We'll go slow.
Floor it.
No!
I want to see what it has. I want to see what
Ah, that's what happens! I didn't even floor it, we
This
just
thing
slid.
sucks.
It's on P-zeros. Where am I going?
Straight.
Oh man.
Man, it's
Oh,
so funny.
oh
This
jeez.
is why I didn't want to take the F8. I'm glad this is happening. Because I actually wanted to take it out, tomorrow.
It's fine when the roads are dry, but if
Yeah.
there's snow, it is just There we go. The Ferrari with the doors that don't go up.
Yes, they
but
don't go up.
but this has a V8, so, you know. Wait, this logic is interesting. Ferrari's in the garage,
Yeah.
and the Jeep Cherokee's in the garage.
Jeep Compass.
Oh,
Yeah,
Compass.
I don't know why they did that.
And
It's
like
my daughter's.
the Lexus and the TRD Pro sit outside.
Yes, because we always take those cars easily out back. I don't know why they parked.
Youngest daughter's car?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why.
No? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Younger children, younger
Yes,
siblings get
yeah,
preferential
they get
treatment. We
everything.
know
I know,
that.
I know, that's
But there we go. Congrats on the F8. My first time
you.
finally seeing
Yeah.
your latest acquisition.
I know.
Of course, it's
Sweet.
white,
Yeah.
like your 458 all
Yeah,
those
it is.
years
I
ago.
wanted a Rossa Corsa, but I could not choose this. This was a deal.
All right. What is your interior spec? Carbon bucket. Oh! Okay. All right. That's a sick interior spec. I really like that. All right. The carbon buckets with the yellow accenting, the little dots there too. That's actually really nice. Carbon steering wheel. Yes. Okay. That's a good spec. Angel's flying into Detroit tonight from a work trip, so I'm gonna head down to the airport and pick her up in the McLaren, because that's fun, right? We've got the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, although they got rid of a little tweeter thing up there, which is like a signature Bowers & Wilkins thing, and like the 570S had it, but that was just like a little speaker, which I'm a little bit bummed about. That was also a cool little touch. Welcome home, honey.
Thank you for picking me up.
First time being picked up at a McLaren from the airport, probably?
Yeah, I was very confused as to why you decided to pick me up in this car.
Because McLaren.
I didn't think my carry-on was going to fit in the front. Alright, slow down.
Final day with the Artura Spider. We took Angel to get her nails done, and now we're heading back home. So let's wrap up final thoughts on what it's been like to live with the McLaren Artura Spider Part 2, because we got it back after that minor little issue. It was a easy fix at the dealership. It went really well. We'd be under warranty. But the powertrain, let's talk about the powertrain, because that likely is the more controversial aspect of this vehicle. To my knowledge, it's the first time in modern day era for McLaren that they don't have some sort of derivative of that twin turbo twin-turbo V8. Instead, it's a new 3-liter twin-turbo V6. It's a 120-degree V6, so rather wide, and it makes pretty solid power and torque. With the hybrid system, you're at total 690 and 531 pound-feet of torque. Like, this thing is properly fast, a huge step up from the previous 570 platform vehicles. Now, the sound, is it as good as a V8? No, but it's actually pretty decent for a twin-turbo V6. I think being 120 degree does affect that. Same thing with the 296. So that is a different powertrain formula, but I will not agree with anybody who complains that it's a hybrid, because look at the P1, look at the Speed. McLaren's only ever made 3 hybrids, and the P1 is legendary without a doubt. The Speedtail was a crazy feat of engineering, and this is the only one that doesn't have more zeros on the end of the price tag, right? Those are all multi-million-dollar hypercars. The Artura also follows a lot of other supercars in terms of going hybridized. Ferrari 296, 3-liter twin-turbo V6 hybrid. Now that one does make substantially more power, over 800 horsepower. Same thing with a Temerario. That one still has a V8, but it's hybridized too, just like its big brother with Vuelto. That seems to be the current trend, and these are all hybridization for performance. Now, they are plug-in hybrid with very, very small battery packs. This thing, I mean, you won't even do 15 miles on a charge, and you can recharge on the go, but it really is hybridization for the pursuit of performance. That torque fill, that power boost, and you get that added flexibility that, yeah, you can leave in friendly neighbor mode, go away in electric mode. So it's not, not turning here yet, next one. It's definitely not pursuing some sort of crazy MPG ratings. I've been still averaging like somewhere between 12 to 13 MPG this week, because I've been having my fun despite being on P0s and it's sub-freezing. It's not an ideal combination for traction at all. I need to fuel this thing up, running a little bit low on gas. Now, I grew to like this thing a lot because of the typical McLaren traits. You have the carbon tub feel, so you're sitting in this cocoon, and it has those like McLaren carbon tub proportions. Actually, there's not a ton of carbon tub supercars out there. The MC20 from Maserati, you get McLarens, but like, for example, Ferrari, unless you're buying their top tier Halo hypercar, you're not getting a carbon tub. Lamborghini doesn't do a pure carbon tub like this thing, so that does give it a bit more of a unique experience. And even though this is a convertible, you don't lose any sort of structural rigidity because of that carbon tub. They did not have to add any extra bracing or anything. You do have a weight penalty. It's 136 pounds because of the mechanism to raise and lower the roof, which goes up and down in, they say 11 seconds and up to 31 miles an hour, but we are not putting it down now because it is currently 18 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and we would get hypothermia. We did it earlier, we tried it out, so we checked that box, but definitely not today. The steering, hydraulic rack, right? So it just still is so communicative. Curb weight is still relatively low despite hybridization, around 3,400-ish pounds because of the convertible weight penalty, but it still feels alive, it still feels fun. The sound's not quite as good as a twin-turbo V8. They did slightly revise the exhaust as they went through some of these model years. Actually, the horsepower went up slightly. It's like a software update that this one has that I believe every single Artura owner could just get that software flash. It was like an extra 19 horsepower or something like that. Look at that, improving as it's in market. And then there's also quality of life improvements, like I mentioned. Like, front lift is just a button. It's so much easier now. A lot of the controls and interfaces have gotten better. The infotainment is actually so much more usable. I've been just running CarPlay the whole time, although it is wired CarPlay, so I've got my phone plugged in. Oh, I just unplugged it. Oops. And then I kind of have it sitting here in the slot. Honey, can you plug my phone back in? You can put it in the wireless charger over there, but it only has wired CarPlay. Thank you. We'll get that booted back up. There's a lot you can dig in with the infotainment system. We've got our like variable drift control. You can set, actually this I thought was funny. There's 5 different memory seat settings. As like if you're sharing this car with 5 other people. Other fun little quirks is, take a look at this thing. Wait, how do I fold it down? Right here. The mirror, it's got like a little baby mirror for the actual mirror. Angel noticed that earlier, and I was like, whoa, what is that thing? Where are we? Working our way through downtown, or like the downtown Milford area by the GM Proving Grounds. So dynamically, it's pretty awesome. It doesn't have the sophisticated hydraulic cross-link suspension of the bigger brother 720S, 750S for the Super Series model. So, but I've just left the handling in comfort the entire time because the dampers will still firm up quite a bit, and our Michigan roads suck. But I have toggled through all the various different drive modes. I do kind of like that they moved away from the active panel here to this. It's just right at your fingertips. And you can just kind of flick it up and down. It's actually rather fun. So I just went into sport mode right there. That. I want to hear one of these things with an aftermarket exhaust, see if it wakes it up. I am running low on fuel. Back to comfort mode we go. The electric stuff does give you some usability. I mean, like I sat in traffic and I'm like, why do I need the engine running? I went into full electric mode. You control your charging on the go, or you can plug it in. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. Now, let's talk about the price. This one here has been optioned to $330,000, which it is both a good value and also not a great value, right? It's a lot of money, over $300,000 for the entry-level McLaren, but all of these supercars are just edging up in price now. And yes, okay, I can already see all the comments, oh, depreciation, depreciation, depreciation. We know. Everything high-end depreciates. Aston Martin, Lamborghini, Ferraris depreciate now too. Look at 296, look at SF90s. You would lose the entire value of one of these in an SF90, right? So yes, it will depreciate, but if we just look at MSRP of it new compared to some other cars, the challenging thing is they've also moved up a tier, right? Even technically the 750S is slightly outgunned by the 296 and the Lamborghini Temerario, but they're also priced even higher. So at $330, option up as a Spider, which does command a price premium, and as a press car, they option this thing up with all the tech packages. It's got the carbon ceramic brakes and all these different things, plenty of carbon fiber on the outside too. $330. A 750S Spider starts at $350, and you're between $400 to $500 with some good options on it. 296 is the same exact way. The Porsche 911 Turbo S, a 992.2 Turbo S is going to be like $300,000, which I was shocked by. Heck, Toyota's about to do a $250,000 supercar too. So when you really think about all these things, I think this is actually still rather compelling. And if you look at used ones that have depreciated, I know there are people, we were at dinner when we were in Arizona a couple weeks ago with one of my friends who picked up an Artura coupe with low miles for under $200,000. So that's an early year one now. This is slightly updated. They've tweaked a couple little things here and there, but ostensibly the same car. So I think this is pretty cool. It absolutely delivers the McLaren supercar experience. And recently, very recently actually, when I was in Arizona with my friend Steven, drove his 570S, and I was like, is it just me, or is my sense of speed broken? Because it didn't feel as ballistically quick anymore. I mean, it was 562 horsepower, what is that, right? So this is an enormous jump up. This delivers that, holy crap, that's really fast kind of thing. So Artura Spider, 2 thumbs up from me. I really enjoyed spending time with this thing. Minor little issue, when we addressed it, it left my garage on the back of a truck, and that sometimes will absolutely happen. It has happened in other people's supercars too. It's almost like a supercar rite of passage that one of them might catch on fire. Look at Ferrari 458, Aventadors had that issue. Porsche 911 GT3s, 991.1 engines would catastrophically explode. It sometimes happens, right? My Z06 might catch on fire. There was a recall for that. It's just one of those things when you get to these high-strung, like pushing the envelope and technology vehicles. But this thing was a lot of fun to live with. Definitely turned a lot of heads driving it around this week in the dead of winter when it's 16 degrees out and snow out. A lot of people were like, what in the world is this guy doing with a McLaren on the streets of Michigan right now? Well, there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, spending some time with the Artura Spider. Would you buy one of these? Would you pony up for a 750S? Honestly, a used 720S might be a really difficult thing for this to cross shop against. But there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Thanks for watching.